Hello and welcome back to the channel. This is Lunar Goddess Tarot and I'm back with another video, guys. So today we're going to be looking into the energies of what is going on within the connection itself. So yesterday I did two separate videos, one for the Divine Feminine, one for the Divine Masculine, and to my delight, the Divine Feminine video actually garnered more views, which tells me that the Divine Feminines have really turned inward and are really focused on self at this time, which is exactly where you're meant to be, Divine Feminine. So excellent, excellent work. And so today I'm guided to look a little bit deeper inside what's going on inside of the connection between the divine counterparts. If you're new to the channel, I do channel for twin souls or twin flames, but I'm also a light worker and a star seed. So you will hear me using those terms as well and providing guidance for both light workers, star seeds, and soulmates at times. So we're going to look into this connection. So I would just like to go ahead and invite in my guides and my light team and the archangels, the ascended masters to be present for this reading. And for those of you who are wanting a twin flame healing, I highly, highly recommend our very own Holly. She's a twin flame healer. She was on our call last night for our coaching group, and it was just an amazing call. So if you guys are interested and you're looking for a healer, she's a Reiki master. And what her and I are going to be offering is I'm starting to open up private coaching slots, and we're going to open up at the end of the month. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to offer you guys the possibility of working with both her and myself, and that's like a double whammy because we've got different strengths, her and I, and that's the beauty of it. She's a medium. She is an animal communicator. She's also a medical medium. So she has the ability to assist you with medical insight and knowledge and guidance. And of course, you guys know me from the channel. So I provide guidance as well. And my strength is helping to bring people back to their personal power, helping to get you back on track, and really helping to foster that radical self-love and take the focus off of the counterpart. So both Holly and myself are really focused on healing you as an individual. Of course, we can look into your twin flame connection, but we're definitely going to focus more on you and your patterns and your belief systems and what you can do to heal yourself, which is always, always going to draw your twin back into you. So there's going to be a limited number of slots each month that we're going to offer. So if you are interested, please do email me to get in line for those healings. I think we're going to offer probably 3 a month. Now we are going to ask that you commit to 3 coaching sessions minimum with us. And then from there, we can, if you want to go from there, of course we can continue, but a minimum of 3 to really be able to see the results that you're looking for. So we're excited to be offering those, and I'll look forward to working with some of you. So let's go ahead and get started here on this reading. So please allow me to be a pure vessel of divine truth, divine manifestation, and divine power. Of course, divine power is power that is, it's guarded by the divine essence. So it's not power that is out of control. Okay, it's not ego-driven, it's soul-driven. Someone with a divine power as, as their soul essence, if you will, their soul DNA, they can use that. It can be kind of used out of balance and out of boundaries, and it can be really detrimental to this planet. My ex is one of those people. His soul is divine power, but he was abusing that power. So we call in the divine power here. We call in the divine discernment as well for the counterparts. And this is a divine counterpart reading to look into the connection itself. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle one more time. Looking into the divine counterpart connections here. King of Swords. 7 of Swords. So there is definitely some discernment that is mandated at this time, that is really required at this time within these connections, because the 7 of Swords can sometimes indicate that there's some sort of deception energy around you. As you see in this card, now we have the wild coyotes or the hyenas. I think those actually might be hyenas. And they just have this kind of, they're always laughing. They're always kind of cackling, right? It's kind of like a wicked, witchy cackle, if you've ever heard hyenas in the distance or in the wild. But on the other side of here, on the flip side, the mirror side, you have the foxes, and the foxes know how to use discernment. The foxes are very perceptive. Sometimes fox energy can be associated with being a little sly and deceiving as well. But in this particular instance, the way this is portrayed, I feel like it's the shadow energy, and then this is the light energy. This is a portal, right, to your really the solar plexus energy being balanced, being in your power, and this is being out of your power and relying on things outside of you, kind of to control your environment. So if you guys don't believe that you're in control of your life, it's going to seem out of control. You're not going to be able to make decisions accurately or quickly. You're going to ask other people for their opinions, and there's likely to be people around you that are going to deceive you because you're kind of opening up those portals when you don't trust your own discernment and your own judgment. So I feel like this is asking the counterparts here, what's happening inside the connection is maybe you guys don't trust each other at this time. There's a lack of faith and a lack of trust. I feel right now like the divine masculine may not trust themselves to come forward to the divine feminine because they may feel like I've deceived her in the past, I've deceived myself, I haven't been honest. And it's a matter of if they feel like they deserve this connection, and if they feel like they deserve the unconditional love that the divine feminine has offered over and over tirelessly, right, through time and space to the divine masculine. They're very aware of this connection at this present time. They're very aware that this is a connection that has transpired throughout lifetimes. They're very aware that they're on shaky ground, so to speak, because the feminine has pulled her power back and her energy back tremendously. You are very focused on what is happening in your life right now, feminine. You're very focused on your health. A lot of you guys are getting health tests at this time, myself included. But I'm seeing it with clients as well. I'm seeing it with my divine feminine friends. So you're focused on just kind of getting your house in order, so to speak. And your house meaning your internal house, your body, right? The vessel that's housing your soul. You're getting that in order. You're starting to clean out and excavate. Some of you may even literally be excavating. Like some of you may be having tooth extractions. I'm feeling like I've been feeling a lot of sensitivity in my teeth. So some of you guys might be extracting teeth. Some of you guys might be having dental procedures. Some of you guys might be having just deep kind of facials or cleansings, or you might be doing saunas. Saunas, infrared saunas are tremendous for recovering from something like Epstein-Barr, adrenal fatigue, any kind of viruses, the CV, I'm not going to say it, but anything that you may have acquired. So it's a great way to really cleanse your lymphatic system, cleanse your body, and just rebalance you. Just make sure you're drinking lots of water if you decide to do those, lots and lots of water that day. But what I'm really feeling is as the feminine sort of cleanses her body, cleanses her vessel, she's also cleansing out her personal space and her physical space. And believe it or not, feminine, it may not feel like you're doing this to make room for the divine masculine, but you actually are. You're doing this to make room for that potential of the reconnection in the future with the counterpart, just that you can't see it right now. So there is some self-deception going on in these connections still, where you may just not be able to feel like, how could this work? The divine feminine is like, and divine masculine feels like there's too much water under the bridge. And the divine feminine feels like, I'm just really immersed in my own life at this time. I don't want this deception. I don't want that energy in my life. So if your counterpart has deceived you in any way, feminine, you may be struggling with the possibility of accepting them back into your life. And so you have to look into this and see if you actually really want this person back in your life. Because the ego will tell you that you don't, but your soul will be drawn, inexplicably drawn to this individual, to this person, to this connection, to this journey. It's not like you can just hop off of the journey. It's not a soulmate connection. It's not a karmic connection. This is a connection that defies logic, defies time and space. This is your soul. You cannot just say, okay, peace out to your own soul. But you want to. And we talked about that on the call last night too, how you feel like you want off of this journey. You're like, I'm done. I'm going to bounce. I'm done. Shutting that door. But it doesn't work like that. So the work is done internally. When we search for something, when we grab for it or reach for it outside of ourselves, it's always going to feel like it's just a little bit far away. Like we just can't quite grasp it. That will happen inside of this connection. The more you chase something on this journey, the more it is going to run away from you, including abundance, including money, including success, including your counterpart, including union. It'll literally just run away, and you'll be left wondering what happened. So there is definitely a transition going on within the counterparts' minds, but there's definitely a little bit of instability, especially since these are both swords cards. There's some mental instability happening. But what I love about the King of Swords is he speaks his truth. Okay, this is a king that is going to communicate effectively and honestly and properly. He's trusting his intuition, and we saw this for the Divine Masculines. Go and watch that video, guys, and watch the Divine Feminine video if you haven't. There are two separate videos for the energies, okay, for the feminine and the masculine. And what we saw with the masculines, guys, it's like they are rising. They are rising, and they're ascending on their journeys, individual solo journeys, and they are absolutely embodying their truth at this time. So they're finding their spiritual path and their spiritual truth right now. And they're also discovering or rediscovering, but for most of them, discovering for the first time their purpose here. What is my purpose on this planet? What am I here to do? Okay. Because I see the twins here, guys, you guys you've been a muse for the Divine Masculine. You have been like an initiator. You've been a muse for them. You've pushed them in this direction of their soul's growth. Okay. They don't want to act deceptively or manipulate anymore. That's very clear with this card. They want to come correct, and they're really having, again, guys, epiphany after epiphany. This is the pathway, the portal here, right? And it's open, it's wide open for them, of consciousness, higher levels of discernment, higher consciousness, and they're right there at the gate of enlightenment. Okay, they're being enlightened to what is possible, what the potential of this journey actually is. And it's so much more than just a 3D connection. A lot of your masculines were still in that 3D mode and mindset. And so they may not have been able to see that they knew it was a special connection, but they didn't understand the depth of the special connection. So they may have just thought, well, yeah, I mean, I know I love this person, but if they're looking at it like from a 3D lens or perspective, or the 3D relationship dynamic, it just never made sense to them. But they didn't know how to put this relationship in a box. They didn't know what box to check. And so they probably didn't label the connection. The feminine felt abandoned or rejected. She felt like she was being used or manipulated or deceived, right? And that's where this comes in. And the masculine was deceiving himself, lying to himself, subconsciously, right? Not doing it on purpose, not with the intention of hurting the feminine. Just he did not know how to approach this connection because he'd only had 3D connections in the past, whereas the feminine had been exposed to higher level soulmates. Most of you, okay, you've had those higher level soulmates, although a lot of feminines had a lot of karmic connections as well. He really wants to speak clearly. He really wants, he's kind of in this place where he's like, okay, I know I need to speak clearly. So he doesn't want to speak unless he can speak eloquently, unless he can speak directly. So he's working on that at this time. Tell me more about the King of Swords. The Sun. Yeah, he wants to bring in this fresh start, this new beginning that is really, guys, looks nothing like this form that, okay, the masculine is changing form. It's the best way I can explain it. So when he comes forward, he's going to come forward in a new form, and he's also going to come forward with more positivity regarding this connection, regarding you, regarding himself and his life and his purpose. Because in the past, there was a lot of negativity. There was a lot of darkness attached to the masculines, and it's almost like the feminine would get slimed by the masculine. That's a phrase that Holly uses, right? So the masculine can kind of slime the back of the feminine, which can kind of slow down your progress or process. And you don't have to step back in those situations and let them go through their dark night and quote unquote their mistakes. Nothing is a mistake, of course, but in the 3D world, we would call it mistakes. They have to go through their lessons. That's what they are, not mistakes, they're lessons. And the feminine is recognizing that I don't have to save everybody. So that being said, the Sun card comes to let the feminine know that whatever has occurred in this connection in the past, it's sort of getting canceled out. It's null and void, because it is a new dawn has come and a new version of the counterpart is appearing. The Sun is nearing the end of this cycle, because after the Sun card, we have Judgment and then we have the World card. So the Sun card comes after the Moon card, interestingly enough, in the tarot. The Sun card comes after the illusions. It's the aha moment. It's like, oh, seeing clearly, okay, rediscovering this connection, rediscovering your counterpart. But you have to be open, feminine. You've got to open your third eye to see what you're not seeing with your 3D lens. You've got to stay open to possibility and potential. If you believe your counterpart cannot change or is not going to leave the karmic or it's never going to happen, that's what you're going to see. You're going to see that negativity reflected back to you, and you're going to blame it on external circumstances. Your belief system, you are so powerful. Your belief system will be reflected back to you. Guaranteed. There's just so much optimism in the Sun card. It's considered the most positive card in the deck. There's positivity, optimism, celebration, joy, family, just success, individual success. The Sun always comes out after the storm. So the storm has been upon the counterparts for most of 2019 through 2020 into 2021, with moments of clarity and moments of the Sun peeking out. But I feel like this is the Sun coming to stay for a longer period of time. Not quite yet, potentially, but you're going to be seeing more and more of the Sun card, less and less of the Moon card, less and less of the illusions, less and less of the triggers, right? Once you get into that place of inner union, the triggers will subside. Once you get into that place of union, your counterpart cannot trigger you as heavily. And if they do, they still will trigger you. You're human. And you'll trigger them, they're human. But if they do, when they do trigger you, it's going to be for a lot less, it's going to be momentarily versus, it's going to last like a day or a few hours versus weeks or months. So you're going to be able to shake it off, get yourself centered and rebalanced, and get back on track with your mission and with your purpose. You've got to understand that when they're in distortion or when they're healing something deep, what they're saying or doing, you just can't take it personally. So if your counterpart says, I never want to see you again, don't take that personally. I never want to be with you again. You made this all up in your head. We were just friends the whole time. These are all stories I've heard from people. You have to understand that they don't mean that. That is their ego talking. It's their distortion talking. It's their fear talking. Okay, it's their fear. It's the fear that you're going to reject them, so let me reject you first. This is a card about the relationship, the connection thriving, the masculine coming forward. So let's get a card here to clarify, how is the divine masculine going to be thriving in this Sun energy? Woo! Ooh, he's thriving in his own abundance. He's 4 of Pentacles. He's creating his own abundance. Yeah, he's gathering strength on all levels, guys. Love, love, love that. And the Wheel card, right? This is beautiful. Things are really shifting and turning for the masculines, guys. I mean, it's happening fast. They're garnering their strength, rather. They're in this place where they're like, I create my own wealth. I feel like this is also this has to do for some of the masculines with settlements. There will be some settlements happening regarding the karmic connections and regarding child custody, marriages, divorce, all those things, custody battles, judgments, the court judgments, divorces, things like that. It's going to be settled in their favor. He's really creating a solid foundation for himself. So he's rebuilding after the past few years, where there was definitely some wealth loss. There was there's just a shift in abundance for the divine masculine, because they have to realize that true abundance doesn't come from money or things. It comes from your spirit and your soul and your heart. So this is beautiful. He's taking time to really appreciate He's being appreciated for his efforts. And of course, guys, you know the wheel. It's another positive major arcana energy showing up along with the sun. Things are shifting. Things are turning. The wheel is turning in favor, finally, of the divine masculine. I feel like they've been through hell. And finally, the wheel is like, okay, we're going to bring some luck into the life of the divine masculine. Okay? Finally, finally, finally. So this is about moving ahead, forging ahead, but not even having to try to do it. It's just happening. It's like, it's just effortlessly happening. It also speaks of the back and the forth that's happened in the connection. It's kind of telling you why the divine masculine had to grow in his strength, his internal strength, not the external strength, but the internal. Although when you don't have the internal strength, you tend to not also have the external strength, and you suffer from health issues, which a lot of masculines have suffered from recently or are currently suffering from because they're not living in alignment. Four of Pentacles, you know, in relation to the wheel, it talks about the abundance coming online again for the divine masculine. There's just really good timing for the divine masculine. It's a really good energy. It's really good timing. Things are really shifting ahead beautifully. Things are changing, but it's a good change. It's a good change this time. So what's the feminine up to? What's the feminine up to here? Whoop. The Fool, Three of Pentacles, working with other divine feminines. This could also indicate, you know, coming into mission. For those of you in communication with your counterpart, starting to work together in mission with your divine counterpart. But look, I love this Fool card. She's in the desert. There's this like blast of cosmic energy coming in. There's a ladder that kind of runs through the sands of time. She's literally ascended, climbed up the ladder of ascension, and she's kind of just stepping out into the great unknown. She's trusting that the weightlessness, you know, is going to bring her to where she needs to be. She's not forcing anything. She's not trying too hard. She's just simply allowing. So there's an energy of allowing, divine feminine. You've got to let go. You've got to let go. You've got to trust that justice is going to be served. You've got to trust in this. You have to trust that this is a possibility. Okay, coming together with your counterpart in this lifetime. You have to trust this. You also have to know that you can rely on other people and that you don't have to do this alone. You can rely on the universe, rely on other feminines or masculines, and rely on your friends and family if you're lucky enough that your friends and family can understand this journey or can at least respect what you're going through. You have to trust in the universe. Trust that the universe knows when and how to deliver justice. Don't try to go after it. Just allow it to happen. I'm learning that lesson right now with a situation in my life. I have a choice. I could potentially pour a lot of energy into taking an action, but at this time, could change, but at this time, I'm deciding to just sort of step back, see what happens, and allow karma to play out so that I don't feel like I have to deliver karma to this person, that it just plays out by itself and I can just step back and allow divine justice to take the wheel, so to speak, pun intended. And it's a leap of faith, yes, but it's trusting that it's trusting that all actions are seen, okay, by the universe, by the divine. And sometimes things happen in our life and it's actually a balancing out of our own karma, right? So it's like this understanding on a deeper level that things happen. Don't cling to, just don't cling to what's happened in the past. Let it go, right? So learning this lesson, divine feminine, of letting go, trusting that, you know, when the time is right, you will come together. This keeps on coming up for the counterparts. So I strongly feel like there's going to be a coming together in mission for a lot of counterparts coming up here in the next several years. And then just the surrendering, just surrender. That's all you have to do. There's just no forcing right now, feminine, no trying too hard. That includes with healing, because you can overdo healing also. You can heal to the point of exhaustion. You can exhaust your energies. You can take your chakras out of alignment. Your chakra system is connected to your counterparts. you shock your chakra system, you will absolutely affect theirs and shock their system. You can on this journey, you can be going about your day, having a wonderful day, and then all of a sudden you just start feeling shitty, or you're moody, or you're bitchy, or you're yelling at people in traffic. It's not always your energy, guys. It can be your counterparts. Could be some repressed energy within you, but a lot of times you know when it's yours and you know when it's not yours. Divine Masculine is continuing to open the heart, continuing to conquer his fears of vulnerability, and being present with his emotions, right, with the Divine Feminine. So we love seeing this card because Divine Masculine, we know how challenging it can be when you're in masculine form, okay, masculine energy, regardless of what your body is, feminine or masculine, like female or male, we know how challenging this can be. So allow these emotions, which is just energy and motion, to move through you. Feel the emotions. So masculines historically have stifled their emotions, and this can be stagnant energy that tends to build up within the system. So it's time to release the suppressed energy, the repressed emotional energy, masculines, and release it in a way that's going to be healthy and constructive for you and others around you. This is the Divine Feminine energy that's creeping into the Divine Masculine. It's the healing of the mother energy within the masculines, the womb energy. So some sacral chakra healing is happening for the Divine Masculines. A lot of masculines at this time are wanting babies with their Divine Feminine because they're healing their sacral chakra. They're healing sexual trauma, sexual abuse, sexual misfunction, okay, or malfunction. And they're also realizing that sex doesn't always equal love, and that the true way to connection can't always be through sex, that it needs to be through real intimacy. And then you can have the icing on the cake, which is the physical pleasure and the physical connection. But they're realizing that there's more to life than just, or more to a connection rather, an intimacy, than just the physical touch, okay, or physical penetration. Like they're realizing that there's other ways to show that you love somebody and to show how you feel. This is big for the Divine Masculine. Acknowledge your anger. So one of the things the Divine Masculine tends to do when they're angry is they tend to just shut down. They'll shut the Divine Feminine out, shut her down, completely just distance themselves. And the Divine Feminine, the nurturing energy inside of you goes, I want to help, let me in. And the Divine Masculine backs further away into his bat cave. So now it's time, masculine, to come out of that bat cave, right? The safety and sanctuary of the bat cave where it's dark and cold and just, it's like, oh, but it's cozy because you don't have to feel, you don't have to communicate, you don't have to actually face things. It's time to come out of there and face the fears of what actually lies inside of you. So it no longer can the emotions be ignored. And this is why you guys, the masculines, are feeling so connected to your counterpart right now, because you're starting to really connect the dots. You're starting to connect to your emotions. Feminine, you've got believe again. Believe in your own power and purpose. Believe in your masculine. Believe that the masculine has the ability to do this healing work. If you help, if you believe, okay, if you support your masculine energetically, or, you know, it doesn't, even if you're not saying this in the 3D, but if you're supporting them, I believe in you, I trust you, you're powerful, you're strong, you're going to get through this, you can do this. They're going to hear this. They're going to hear this, cheerleader, and they're going to grow in self-worth and confidence. You're going to see a different version of them, guys. If you don't like what you see with your counterpart, shift your mindset. And if you can't shift your mindset, well, think about having a session with Holly and myself. Think about the group coaching, the second program will be launched in April of 2022. These are all ways in which you can start to reform the ways in which you think about this connection and about this journey. This is what it's all about. Okay, this is a journey for you. Everybody wants connection. unless maybe you're a psychopath or sociopath and you don't need it. But the majority of people on this earth need it, want it, desire it, crave it. It's normal. So when someone says, oh, you're being needy or you're being, it's like, no, it's normal to want connection. Some people have, the connection style that is avoidant attachment, and others have the clingy attachment. I forget what that's called. So it depends on your attachment style, but a lot of masculines tend to be avoidant attachment avoidant, whatever it's called. And the feminines tend to be the ones that are more codependent, that cling, and that place their self-worth in a relationship. So you're overhauling that feminine. And by doing that, you're allowing the masculine to do all this great work internally and emotionally. What is the energy inside of a connection? There is a time out. But then awaken flipped over also. So there's an awakening happening. It's kind of like the hermit energy where there's an enlightening happening, right? When you're in hermit energy, something is happening. Again, if you're in separation, get excited because it means there are changes ahead. So the time out here just tells us that, you know what? You can slow down, appreciate life, appreciate the moments of life. You don't have to rush to get to the next step or rush to get to this appointment, that appointment. You don't have to rush. Life is always unfolding. It's always happening. It's always literally one foot in front of the other. That's life. It's just time to slow down. This is what's happening within the connections. You guys are both guided to, feminine, you're focused on your work and your career, but you're also focused to just slow down, step back, and it's more of trusting the process. Again, that judgment, where is it? Justice. Justice card. Trust in divine justice. It's kind of like, do you trust that? Do you think time is running out? Or do you trust, what is it? It's from, I think it's the light, what is it? One of the decks, the other decks that I have. Not the Starseed deck. Maybe it's the Starseed deck. It's trust the wave that you came in on. Time is not running out. You don't have to rush to get to the next step in this journey, and you don't have to compare your journey to anybody else's. When you've been at war with yourself or with time, it's like, oh, time's running out. I don't have enough time. And that goes for some of you females who either identify as feminine or masculine, who want to conceive and have a child and feel like time is running out. It's very important to focus on the ability of your body to conceive and to have that child. If it's meant to be, it will happen. Okay? You have to believe in the power of the universe. You have to believe in the power of higher power, God. Okay? If it's God for you, if it's whomever it is for you, Buddha, you have to believe that there's something else out there that sees and hears and feels what you do and that knows what your deepest desires are. Yeah, so this is healing of anxiety, healing of stress, healing of that, bringing you back to that parasympathetic nervous system. And guys, disconnect from, I'm saying this to myself too, disconnect from the devices that we're all addicted to right now. Connect to the cycle and the rhythmic cycles of nature. This is why it's so important. It's so freaking hot here, honestly, and it's depressing me. Summer depresses me here because I'm not able to go outside and enjoy. And all I want to do is work out outside. I want to go outside. I want to do my readings outside, but I can't. It's too damn hot. I try to go at night or in the mornings, or I try to even if it's hot, I just go anyway. And I sit in my car and I watch the beach or I go to the park. But it's so important to appreciate nature. Go bird watching or go to a sanctuary or adopt an animal or whatever that might be. Plant something in your garden if you have the space and capacity to do that. unwind and renew your energy, because guys, there's so much that wants to come in right now for these connections. There's just so much that is dying to come in. But we have to have the space for it to do so. Whew. Let's take that one. This goes beautifully with the timeout card, willing release. So don't fight what is trying to leave right now. If something is trying to, if a person's trying to leave, if your masculine wants to run, let them run, give them the space to do so. Don't chase after them. Trust in the divine plan. This leaves room for miracles, because you start to detach from from the outcome and what you think something should look like or be like, including your connection, including your job, including how things show up for you. Stop attaching to okay, you have to know your why. You don't need to attach to your how. Let the universe create the how. There's a divine plan for all of us. When you have that faith, you don't have that internal need for attachment. You don't feel entitled to receive something in a certain way. You just allow it to show up. I'm telling you, when you do that, that's when your masculine will show up in the most profound way, in the most surprising way. They'll just show up at your doorstep. Oh, I'm here. You're like, what? Well, I wasn't even thinking about you. Exactly. You were detached from the need to know how, when, why. You just trusted. You said, I feel this connection. I know this is huge. I know this is going to be my life forever, and I trust it's all going to come together when it needs to. And you leave all the details to the divine. So I'm going to end this reading there, guys. I hope this has been helpful for you. I'm sending you so much love and support, and I may do another reading later today. If not, look out for another one tomorrow. Please like the video to assist people in finding this channel and finding my videos and my work, to support my work. Like the video, subscribe. I do have an Amazon wish list if you'd like to gift the channel. Mostly it's cards, but I also have some kitty stuff on there. Oh, and I've been meaning to say, I don't know who sent me the cat tunnel, but the cats freaking love it. The cats, I'll try to get a video. They absolutely love it. So thank you to whomever sent the cat tunnel. It's amazing. I've been wanting to get one of those for a long time. So thank you guys so much. Whoever sent that, whatever beautiful soul gifted me that. There was no name. Sometimes there is with Amazon, sometimes there's not. And you can come on over to Patreon. I have bonus readings there. I actually have a new moon reading I just did for Virgo. It is it's a written video reading. And then I also have a very long written post where I go into detail about being a starseed, what that means, what my journey has looked like. So it's a sneak peek into my journey, a much deeper peek than I've ever really revealed to you guys. And it's also my union post. It's the post about what union really is, what it looks like, how to get there. That's reserved for my VIP patrons, and the new moon reading is reserved for my all access patrons. And then there's a general level, which is for all levels, all, what is it? I forget what the tier is called, but there's 4 separate tiers that you can choose from. And that's one way to really help support my work in the channel. And I send you guys so much love, and thank you so much for any way that you've ever supported me on the channel, and any small amount, large amount, and anything in between. I'm so grateful for this opportunity to serve. Take great care, guys, and I'll see you soon.